Did I get ya? Normally I walk in from the side. Figured I'd switch things up. Today, we're making an apple cake. It's super delicious, custardy, and if you're a fan of anything apple, well then you clicked on the right video. It's a little bit of batter and a whole lot of apples. It bakes up in 40 minutes, and it's absolutely scrumdiddlyumptious. Let's turn up the heat. This right here is an apple cake, so you guessed it, we need some apples. I'm using 3. If you want your apples to have a little bit more sweetness and a little bit of texture at the end of this bake, use Honeycrisp. As you can see here, I'm using 3 Granny Smiths. I like my apples in this cake to have a little bit more of a sour punch. We're doing 2 things with these apples. The first is to peel them. You don't want any skins on these apples because once they're baked, that skin will get all leathery and chewy, and it's gonna ruin that perfectly smooth, soft texture that these apples will get once it's done. Once that skin is gone, there's one more thing we need to do, and that is chop them up. Cut around each core, removing the core and saving 2 quarters. The 2 quarters can get sliced up, those are gonna top this cake, and the rest of the apple can get cut into 1/2-inch cubes. If you want these to be a little bit bigger, by all means, go ahead. Cut them slightly bigger. If you want them to all be slices, make them all slices. It's totally up to you. This cake is so special because of 4 ingredients and the way they meld together. The vanilla, the rum, the apples, and the butter. You put those together and it's a heavenly bite. Set these apples to the side, working diligently just to make sure these apples don't brown. Moving on with this luscious batter, we're adding 1 cup of all-purpose flour. To give this a little bit of lift, we're going in with 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And to round out that flavor and add a little bit of balance, add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm using salted butter, so I'm going with 1/4. If you have unsalted butter, add 1/4, so you're going in with 1/2 teaspoon. Now all we need to do is whisk these dry ingredients together. And next is the wet. Add 2 eggs to a bowl. Go ahead and beat these until they're frothy and foamy. Once they're at that point, add 1/2 cup of melted butter. And now it's time to make this sweet. Add 3/4 cups of granulated sugar, whisking it in until it's fully incorporated. And now the flavor boosters. 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. And the driving force of this cake, 1/4 cup of rum. If you don't have rum, no worries, or you don't want to use it, whatever reason, just use apple juice or milk. Anything really works. It's not going to get the same flavor boost, but it'll still be delicious. If you could smell this, oh, it is so good. I need this in like a candle or something. Oh my god, that would be heavenly. Now we're at the point where we can dump these dry ingredients directly into your wet. Ever so slightly mix this dry into the wet. Don't fully incorporate this. We're gonna do that with the apples. Speaking of the apples, now you can add them. This is where we finish the batter by folding those apples in. Take your time, don't mix this too much. Once they're all incorporated, set it to the side and bring in your pan. I'm using a 9-inch springform pan. You definitely don't have to. Or if you don't have one, don't go out and buy one, just use a regular cake pan. This just ensures it'll come out nicely. It's kind of like an insurance policy. I know for a fact nothing's gonna stick. Spray up and down the sides of your pan, get a little bit there on the bottom, but as an even bigger insurance policy, I'm going in with 1 round of parchment paper. Now your pan's ready, and now we can dump this batter into the pan. Get everything in there, don't leave any of this luscious, glorious batter behind in that bowl. You'll want it all, and trust me, you'll need it all. Smooth this out, I'm just using an offset spatula. Now you can top this with your sliced apples from before. Going around just to make it look, you know, a little nicer. To make sure these don't dry out, you can melt a little butter and brush some on, and then sprinkle on just a little bit of sugar, because why not? Now toss this into your 350-degree oven for 35 to 40 minutes until a toothpick is inserted, and when removed, it's clean, just like this. Man, oh man, fresh out of the oven, this kitchen smells delicious. I kind of just want to like eat the air. Let this bad boy cool for about 20 minutes. Once it's cooled, now we can remove this collar, slide it off of the base of this pan. Don't forget about the parchment paper. You don't want to cut this up and then you go cut into it and there's parchment on the bottom. Just don't forget it. And now a dusting of powdered sugar, and enjoy. And enjoy I will. I'm just gonna slice myself a piece. Don't mind if I do. Here we are once again where I get to eat this delicious food. Perfect bottom, perfect side, amazing. Beautiful golden brown. That rum, you smell it, you taste it. The apples, they're not overcooked, they're not super mushy. It's custardy, it's sweet. If you enjoy apples, definitely recommend. If you've got some rum on hand, well, you're 2 steps closer to making this. If you like this video, give it a big fat thumbs up. For that algorithm, help me out, pretty please. Smash that subscribe button, and until next time, peace.